The one thing that isn't changing by the hour when it comes to the global pandemic of COVID-19 is the fact that we all have the same questions, from everything about symptoms to treatments to the rules around social isolation. Well, here with some answers for you this morning is Dr. Iris Gorfinkel, family doctor and medical researcher. Welcome back to Your Morning.
Thank you for having me.
A bit of a delay, and we should remind our viewers that most of our guests this morning, you will see, are joining us via remote because we are also practicing social distancing here at Your Morning. Doctor, how do you know when you have just a cold or the flu or COVID-19?
In truth, a clinician cannot tell the difference between those three. A cold, a flu, and COVID-19 can actually present the very same way. All of them can give cold and flu-like symptoms. We used to think that COVID-19 was a more rapid onset with a fever and more severe symptoms, but now we know that 80 to 90% are in fact very mild. That means a person could go through their daily activities doing pretty much what they normally do and just be slowed down a bit when they have it. So that's concerning.
So the biggest distinction seems to be with this chart that we've put up for our viewers is with COVID-19, you will have a shortness of breath, and there's also this history of travel or exposure.
It's the travel and exposure history that's most important for the majority of people who have it. Now, what we're doing is a little bit different in high-risk zones. So for individuals who have chronic conditions or who are admitted to hospital, obviously their criteria is very different. They're not going to have that history of travel. And we know community contagion is a thing, it's happening, but even with that, we do not have the facilities nor the tests to test absolutely everybody. So that history of travel, if you're basically otherwise well, that's a critical part of it.
Doctor, we're being told to social distance ourselves. We know what that means in terms of measurements, but what does that actually mean in terms of connecting with people? Is it okay to have my neighbors over if I know they haven't traveled and I know that nobody there is sick? Or does it actually mean stay away from everyone?
Great question, because the number of people involved in crowds, because we're told, oh, you got to stay away from crowds, is actually a shifting number and depends on where you are in the world. So in Israel, they've actually made it 10 or more. Like, that's the number. Here in Canada, it's 50 or more. But the fact of the matter is we just want to avoid unnecessary contact with individuals in order to stop the contagion, to stop the spread. Because so many people have mild symptoms. That's the problem. And they are the resource, the source where the majority of infections are going to come from, and high-risk individuals.
Doctor, a question I get a lot is, if you've had COVID-19 once, can you get it again?
And COVID-19, we actually don't know. We don't know how long-lasting is the immunity to it. Plus the fact that, understand, these viruses have a tendency to morph and change. So just like any other virus, there's the possibility that it could shift or drift. Just minor changes could change it from what's a mild infection to a more severe infection. But all of this stuff is stuff for tomorrow to answer. We actually don't know these questions. We don't know the answers.
Well, we are glad that you can provide us with the information that we can hang on to in times of uncertainty. Doctor, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.